Brum, brum.
Thing was, the Benjafields Club, you know, is a fabulous club, and to have been an early member, I'm very proud of that, because it's turned into a fabulous club. And to organise a 24-hour race, they did it 10 years ago, they had one 10 years ago. It was very, very good, and I must say, you know, I mean, it's silly to say it really, but standing up, we went up into the balcony sort of thing and watched the finish, and I must say, I had a lump in my throat watching them old cars going over the line. Hadn't been driven for 24 hours, you know, and they all had little hitches and things, but they're still going. And, you know, the 99 car, which our mate Tom was driving, I can't remember, how many laps did it do, Susie? Loads, wasn't it? Anyway, it did the most miles, that car. And the place where we stayed was fantastic. So all I can say is the Benjafields Club know how to organise a really good meeting. Probably left over from when I organised the party. Well, this is it. Shed racing has just gone up a few notches. How about this for a place? I can't believe it. The sun is shining. There's this fabulous place. And we can go to the track and play with cars as well. So I'm in heaven. You may be wondering what my involvement with Bentleys was. Well, obviously I got involved with Hubbard, and Hubbard formed a club. And anyway, it evolved into the Benjafields Club, which is the people that organise the 24-hour race. This is in the 80s. Now, this is an early picture of a Benjafield do at Ed Hubbard's premises, where we kept the Bentleys. We didn't work on them there, we kept them there. I had a party at the farm. The Benjafields said, why don't we have a party at the farm? So I said, yeah, I'll organise that.
And what year was that? Was that in the 90s?
Must have been. So we had a bit of a party, a bit of a knees up, and there's quite a few pictures of some of the members, obviously me as well. So there's a really good picture of old Spencer, race Spitfires and everything. Unfortunately, he was killed in his BRM. And we put his name on the back of our car. One of the reasons, the reason we painted our car red is because old Spencer painted everything red. In the end, I mean, this is 2002, so obviously he was still a member then. But, you know, I didn't have a Bentley. Well, if you ain't got a Bentley, there's not much point. But luckily, obviously, they all remember me, and they all remember the days when, you know, we had the party and what have you. There's a good picture here of John May in his Bentley. Now, in them days, when I was running the business, we had a two-door Mark II Escort with a locked-up diff. And what we used to do, we had a track in the field. And what you did was you drove out on one road, and you did 2 laps, and then you drove off on another road, and you got timed. And we've had parties here, and people have stopped drinking because they wanted to make the fastest time. But anyway, during this party, everybody got a bit carried away, and they were driving the Ford Escort round. And then I think I jumped in my little Type 35, I was driving around the track, and then some of the Bentleys was driving around the track, and we thought, hang on, we got to stop this, because there's going to be a problem. So anyway, we had a fabulous weekend. The car was better than expectation, because, you know, when you think it had never been driven, and the engine had sat on the floor for 50 years before we decided to use it probably. And obviously when Timothy bought all these bits and pieces and decided to build a car, we only had, I think he did it in about 8 weeks. But it was very good, and I must say, I went home to bed. I didn't do anything really. The young boys did it, and they enjoyed doing it. And the mechanics were brilliant. We took 2 boys with us, and they were absolutely marvellous. Well, we stopped at a hotel, and we drove the car for the very first time, and it had a Duff condenser. But we tried the carbs first of all, and it made it a little bit better. It's a little bit better. Then we tried something else, In the end, I said, right, we've got to take the distributor completely out, and we finished up in the van, in the trailer, with the 12-volt battery, testing it with, you know, all the wires and everything. and we decided it was a condenser. We replaced the condenser, put it all back together again, and it was perfect.
And what about the clutch?
Well, the clutch, we took all the bolts off that, pulled it out, wiped it clean, put it back, washed it off with brake cleaner, and if you really try in top gear, you can make it slip, but it'll be all right.
We've got 24 hours to practice.
Yeah, so that was right. And then, of course, in the meantime, that's motorbikes, by the way.
Okay,
in the meantime, we played with the carburetors and changed the needles. So we think we might, after practice here, we might put the needles back. But we had a very nice man in the hotel who was making film for us on his phone of us working on the car, and he's going to email it to us so you can use it in the video.
Wow.
And he said, I hope you're going to, because I want to know how you got on. So I said, don't worry.
No pressure, no
Don't
pressure.
worry, Shed Racing will tell you. And the man in the hotel could speak English and booked us in. He wants to know how we get on, so he's got Shed Racing.
Oh, it's good then. So, what do you think?
Yeah, look. 51, bolted on.
Yeah.
Tim's moved the sticker. Oh, he's clever, isn't he?
So Spencer was a friend of yours?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, he was a Benjafields member, but he was like a leading light.
Okay.
And he was a great bloke, you know. Considering the things he'd done, you know, racing Spitfires, the first man to have a jet fighter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he rung up and said he needed some cartridges for the ejector seat. And they said, oh, no, you can't have one of them. He said, well, I have got one, you know. And I think he painted it red as well, because all these things were red.
So that's why this is red?
Yeah. No, well, we just happened to have that kicking about, you know.
had to have a footrest?
And we had to have a footrest, so why not have a Bugatti?
Okay. Are you relaxing?
Well, the thing is, our car is so good, you know, we've got to give the others a chance, really, because we keep checking it all the time, you know. Years ago, I knew this man who owned this car very well. And he used to organise a sprint, and I used to go to the sprint in a Bugatti, and he was a smashing man, but he wasn't well off or anything. He just bought this car years ago, and he would never have got it done. He could have never afforded to do it. And in the end, Stanley paid for it. Stanley man paid to have it done. And then they used it, and they did Millbrook. We all did Millbrook, came around Millbrook. I did Millbrook in a Speed 6 Bentley. Vaughan Davies. But anyway, we used to go and do the sprint. And this became quite a famous car. Well, it was a famous car, but even more so. Anyway, we were there, all going around Millbrook. I was driving a Speed 6. And we bought, or Ed bought, a brand new M3 BMW. And the day before, he blew the engine up. So I went in my BMW, took the boot lid off, and went to ProDrive and bought a brand spanking new M3 BMW engine and put it in the boot. Went back to Greenford, was in Greenford then, and Neil Davis and John Berry put the engine in the car, and we went back the next day, and Ed drove it round Millbrook and broke some record. And he said when he was going round, he said the temperature was at a certain point, and when the temperature went down, he put his foot down, and he just kept going 130 miles an hour for whatever, and they got the record. So we had a lot of fun at Millbrook. You know, it was a regular thing with old Stanley. He used to organise it. He was a great man, Stanley. He gave me a lot of fabulous advice, Stanley.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was a bloody good bloke. When you think, when I was with Hubbard, I think we had 40 or 50 Bentleys, so there got to be some of them here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a blower. That is a Roots type supercharger. And years ago, when I used to know Billy Rockall, Billy Rockall, there would be a number on there. Billy Rockall would go, yes, I worked on that one.
Here's a bit of history. Le Mans 1924.
Oh yeah, well I don't really know about that because I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't born then?
No.
I mean, you might have to brake if you were trying to go fast, but...
It's lucky Kevin's slight stature.
Not bad. I've done that.
Little screw.
Little screw.
Yeah, we're Loctite in it. Putting it back.
That's
Yeah, you
good.
sort of...
They're obviously worried. We got everybody worried.
Oh, you got me worried.
Harder plugs.
They put harder ones in.
Yeah, these are 6s and we're going to put 7s in. Oh yeah, listen, they don't stand a chance.
Plugs.
Racing since 1926, wasn't it?
Say that.
No, I don't, but I'm sure that's what the team was.
Oh, okay.
That's their sponsors.
You ready for some action?
This is it, folks. When the flag drops, the bullshit stops. It's on 3 cylinders, it feels like. But I mean, you know what? I mean, if you take it front in the corners, I was catching them up. Yeah. But, you know, it ain't no good when you come out the corner, it's had Wow. Well, this is it, folks, in the dark. Poor old bastard in the dark.
Lovely Bentley gearbox for you. You love a Bentley gearbox, don't you?
Oh, bloody hell.
Nice.
As soon as he went off and bought some bicycle lights to tape onto the front of the car so that they could see in the dark a little bit, because the ordinary headlights, they were all right, but you know, it needed a little bit more. And as it happens, it sounds like they did the trick. In the sun, I wish I could move shed racing complete here. That would be lovely.
You can have your own test track.
You can always put the air conditioning on, can't you, if you get fed up. You can't put the sun on. You can't switch the sun on. You can switch the aircon on.
Ivan? I'm videoing you.
Well, this is it, folks. We've got this far. Unbelievable.
Two ducklings are smiling. Almost smiling. Oh, there's 2 smiles. Whoa.
Wow. They've got to put their hoods up and they're going to run and get in the car. Looking at them hoods, I mean, ours looks like a miracle by comparison. They look like they've got California Spider hoods, and we look like we've got a hood on a little Morris Spider 1000.
Is that what we've got?
Yeah, well, no, we've got an MG hood, but it's, yeah, it's close.
Yeah. You have to look up, Ivan, or I'll get your head. You're on the camera.
I can't open my eyes because of the sun.
Oh, stop complaining.
we got this far, I put my overalls on. At the beginning of the season, I didn't even have a licence, but anyway, they've managed to give me one, so that's handy. I can't see we having these on for 24 hours, though.
No.
Trouble is, I get an itchy nose. It's ever so difficult to get your hand up
Well,
there.
you don't need to be worrying about that. Focus on the road.
Chocolate, can you hold that roof up? Roll down the hill, then go for third. It's third, I don't think it's revving.
Lots of oil, lots of white smoke.
Oh, oil. Oh, well done. Are you in your usual pose?
I'm having a little look.
Okay, what can we see?
Well, it still looks lovely. It don't do any harm to have a look.
Ivan's polishing the tarmac.
Oh dear. So what happened with Tim's car?
Well, it went for 12 hours. Lots of bits and pieces falling off it, but it all got fixed. But in the end, it broke a conrod. Luckily, near the piston, so it didn't throw a rod out the crankcase, which would have been really upsetting. And Neil Davies tells us that the 4-bolt conrods are not as good as the 2-bolt conrods. Well, obviously it had 4-bolt conrods. But other than that, they've had a fabulous time.
And have you had a fabulous time?
Well, yeah, I tell you what, I've got a lump in my throat watching this. Our mate Tom was in the winning team. I forget how many hours he said he drove. 10, I think.
I think 8.
8. That's still a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Mind you, he loves driving round and round
Round and round.
and round. Love all that, just going round and round.
I do love going round and
Yeah, I
round.
know you.
You spent an entire career going round and round and round, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's lovely. Lovely. Round and round and round and round. That's it, folks. The last few seconds of 24 hours. This to me is like, you know, when people watch a football match and it's the most important thing in their lives. Well, because motor racing has been my life, so, you know, I'm not surprised I'm a little bit overcome, even though we're not even out there. I'll tell you what, I did, I don't know, 10 laps probably. And, you know, it really makes me realise just how hard that would have been to do 24 hours. Our boys was doing 2 hours changing over, 2 hours changing over. And they managed to do that several times before eventually the engine broke.
Yeah, our practice, it kept going wrong and oil was leaking out everywhere, and once we got going, never missed a beat.
Wow.
And how many hours do you think you drove?
Well, we were 3 drivers and we did sort of 2 hours on during the day,
Okay.
2 hours off, and at night we did an hour and a half each, because
That
at
is
night's
a
very, very
slog.
tiring.
Yeah, no, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you've been in the business all your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really is something.
Building beautiful cars.
This is something.
Yeah.
I've never fancied a Bentley, but this atmosphere is so good. I would actually wouldn't mind one.
Wow.
And that's saying something.
Oh, he's not doing his TV appearance, is he?
Obviously.
Oh, for
Did you
fuck's
go
sake.
round?
Oh, yeah, of course we did. We got 4 laps out of it.
No.
With the lorry strap on it. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's the only Bentley ever to have its head held down with a lorry strap.
Right, yeah. Alex's car's both finished.
Well, that's good, isn't
Well,
it?
that's good, isn't it? Well, it's a pretty good sight, that, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, I must say that my mate Julian Mizzou, Brockley Tyre Company, have done really well. Because every car virtually has got tyres on it. Open issues, not tweaked up at all. Yes! Proper 3 litre block. Cone clutch. Nice magneto.
We're just admiring your car.
Oh, thank you. I know that these tyres have done. So 13,000.
13,000.
Yeah.
Including the 24 hours.
Including the 24 hours, isn't it?
13,000 miles, basically.
Yeah.
But rushing about a
But
lot.
rushing
of the
about,
time.
oh yeah. I don't know, on the.
Is that what you call that last 24 hours?
Rushing about.
Yeah,
Rushing about in circles. Brilliant, thanks boys.
And I'm just a poor old boy from Greenford.
He's the poor old
Well,
boy
there's
from
2 old boys from Greenford.
Yeah.
Both chancers, really. But it so happens that he served a proper apprenticeship and so did I.
I can't believe though it's taken you 60 years to realise what a great engineer W.O. Bentley
Oh
is.
no, listen, I've always thought he was a great engineer. It's just I wasn't strong enough or clever enough to change gear. That was my problem. And when we used to be with Hubbard, people would say, you know, I'd like to go for a ride in the car, and I used to think, well, if I can't change gear, he's going to think, what's he going to do?
Do you remember when he turned up at Derby Road and just said everyone get in the Bentley, we're driving them all to Silverstone?
Yes.
And everyone drove out and no one could change gear, everyone was crunch, 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 right to Silverstone,
No, they was the days though. We did have some fun.
Yeah.
And although Mr. Hubbard's no longer with us, we often think about him, don't we? We often
So how many
think
years
about him.
ago was it? Like
Oh,
30
well,
years,
he
40
might be
years
able to
ago?
work that out.
I
It's 30.
started working with Rive in '83, and that's it. Life never was the same again.
No, it wasn't.
No,
was
it
it?
wasn't,
No.
I've still got the old building that Hubbard owned. That's one of my factories. It was the
Oh,
old
right.
one, yeah.
What you mean, the dairy?
Yeah.
No, I can't swim now.
I'd hang right back if I was you.
Your fans are going to love to see you've scrubbed up well.
Yes, I always say I scrub up well, with my
Here's
favourite
Susie, my
bird.
daughter, who does all the hard work filming. Puts up with him.
Very cute. Perfect plastic teeth. A medal.
Finish.
eBay Monday morning.
And now you're back in the shed. What's happening next?
Right, so we're getting on with the Sebring. John's getting on with that. The bell housing is in machine for the Offie engine, and I think John's made some footage which Susie will use to say. And also, luckily, when I had the casting done, one of our followers said, "Oh, I'd like to have seen the casting done." Well, he's right. So I rang up the foundry and I said, "Hello, mate. You know, could you take a film of it?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, we'll do that." You know, and I said, "Use your phone, that'd be good enough." Anyway, he used his phone and he made a film of it being cast, the metal being poured in and coming up the risers and everything. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the film on and I'll do a little bit of a commentary to say what was going on for the people who don't know anything about foundries. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to press the like button, and good to see you. Everybody I see, I'm always pleased.